Thank you, Mr. Bhatia, for the introduction. It was wonderful, and I think today becomes a very exciting day in our lives. I think this is the first time that such a big event is being organized after the pandemic, and with so many people coming together. So really thank you all for coming here today. Things have started opening up. I'm actually privileged to talk to all of you here, and as I look back over the last month or so, the pandemic seems to be disappearing. Things have started opening up. Offices started opening up, schools and colleges started opening up, and we've been traveling, meeting clients across the country. So in fact, I was traveling all of last week and just got back yesterday. I didn't get a chance to talk to my wife about this event. So I did get some time this morning. I spoke to her about the event. I spoke to her about what I'm going to talk about. And then she just looked at me straight in my eye and she said, "Don't try to be too charming, too witty, or too intellectual. Just be yourself." I really don't know what she meant by that, but what it really means to me is that I stick to the script. I don't talk too much. Thank you very much, all of you. I'm going to talk about an area which is of interest to a lot of people, not just in India, but world over. We know about financial inclusion. It is the most talked subject over the last few years, and I think it's been the last 7 or 8 years that people have been actively working towards driving financial inclusion, not just in India, but worldwide. And connecting to that, I'm going to talk about how EWA, or Earned Wages Access, has a role to play in this entire journey of financial inclusion. Sure of us know about financial inclusion, but I'm not sure how many of you know about EWA, or Earned Wages Access. Anyone in the audience who has heard of Earned Wages Access? Oh yeah, thank you. You know about it, sir. Thank you very much. I'm not going to bother you with the questions, but there is at least one gentleman here who knows about Earned Wages Access, and we will talk about it a little bit in detail as we go along through the day. But yes, it's an important element in the entire financial inclusion journey of our country. Let me jump into it right away. So we know of Digital India that was launched in 2015 by the Prime Minister of India, and this was done with the intent to drive a digital economy of $1 trillion by the year 2025. And I think a lot of work has been done in that area. We are aware of initiatives such as GST that was introduced, simplification of taxation. We're aware of simplification of PAN procedures and various other initiatives that were launched to make sure that we are on the right track to becoming a $1 trillion digital economy by 2025. One of the most famous things that has happened in this period is the JAM Trinity, or the Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and Mobile Trinity, which the intent was to reach out to the large population of India, make them bankable, give them access to various financial products. And I think there's been great success, as we see about 1.2 billion people have been covered under the JAM Trinity. So when RBI's financial index, they have this annual measurement which they announce every few years. So the financial index for the index of financial inclusion, grew 24% between 2017 and 2021, from 43.4, as you can see, to 53.9. So that shows that there has been impact created with the various financial inclusions initiatives. Well, we have still a long way to go. While on one end we have 80% of Indian adults who have bank accounts now, which is 27% higher from which was 53% in 2014. So in 2017, when World Bank ran their study, the Global Findex report, there was a substantial increase, and 80% of Indian adults now have bank accounts. So big progress there. 77% of Indian women have bank accounts, which has gone up from 26% in 2011. So huge progress there as well. Having said that, we still have a long way to go. About 190 million Indian adults still don't have a bank account in India. And we happen to be the second largest country in terms of unbankable population after China. We are about 13% of the population which is unbankable. China is about 15.5% with 225 million people without a bank account. On the other side, US is about 5% with just 18 million people who don't have a bank account. So we still have a long way to go. About 1/3 of the world's population, which is about 1.7 billion, are still unbanked. So still a very, very long way to go in financial inclusion. So we know what is financial inclusion, but if you actually, dwell a little bit into it, we know that this is providing access to a wide range of financial resources to the large population at reasonable and sustainable, using reasonable and sustainable measures, right? So we know that there's a lot of initiatives taken in terms of digitizing the entire financial transactions. Your payments happen online. You can open accounts online, savings account. You can buy investment products online these days. So the whole focus on digitizing it and making access easy for the large population is the drive for financial inclusion. But then on the other side, the World Bank says that half of Indian population is still financially excluded, which means that while we have bank accounts, while 80% of the population has bank accounts, they are still financially excluded. They still do not have access to the various financial products that they need to make a sustainable, healthy, comfortable, stable lifestyle. The S&P Financial Services estimates that only 24% of the population in India are financially literate. Still a very, very long way to go. So why is financial inclusion really, really important? So one is overcoming poverty, which has been a big, big initiative by governments before, governments now, and governments worldwide. In India, between 2006 and 2016, we have lifted over 250 million people out of poverty. So there's a huge amount of work going on that front. Financial inclusion is important to empower people. They need to feel empowered that they have access to finances when they need them. Social stability, because you're living in a society where the inflation is high, the cost is high, you want to make sure that socially you're stable. There is a significant amount of focus on growth of an alternative microeconomy, and I think that's what financial inclusion does, with the larger section of the population having access to various financial products. There is transactions that happen, there is a lot of work that happens on that front, and the microeconomy grows on the other side. And of course, parallel economic development. Now, these are the 5 A's of financial inclusion, right? And this is very simple, but it's very meaningful. First of all, awareness. Do we have enough ways and measures to create awareness about availability or access to financial services? Awareness. Second is accessibility. After awareness, are those financial services really accessible to the large population? Third is affordability, right? Are those financial services affordable? I mean, some of us at the upper end of the tier, we may not worry about it, but then the large population, if they have to have access to those financial services, are they affordable to them? Availability, is it widely available? And last and most importantly, is it adequate for them? So is there adequacy in terms of, the various financial services that's available, is it adequate for them? So these are the 5 A's of financial inclusion, and most of the initiatives, as you see, work around these 5 A's. But this is where earned wages access really come in. Earned wages access is just a one step towards driving financial inclusion, and we at Refine take pride in announcing that we were the first company to bring in earned wages access to India, and we are now Asia's largest earned wages access company. So there was an Ernst & Young report to determine whether earned wage access is required in India and in Asia, whether there is a need for something like this, and some of those resulting statistics were pretty startling. It said that about 72% of Indian population resorted to alternate finance options due to worsening financial strain. But just to give an example here, we are, all of us here are pretty well off. We have great incomes and access to credit. We form just 6% of the population that has access to credit, right? But when we do need finances between 2 paydays, we don't have a problem because we have credit cards, we have cheaper financial services available. But then there is a large section of population that does not have access to that credit, right? So what they really do is that when there is a financial need between two paydays, they look for alternate financial options. They could go to payday lenders, high-cost loan sharks, high-cost personal finances, charging them 80, 90, 100% as interest rates. So that's how these people are exposed to alternate financial options because they do not have access to those finances themselves. 81% of the population in India runs out of their salaries before the next salary comes in, right? So when they do run out of salaries, they look for money elsewhere. 81% of the population who have experienced financial difficulties have experienced mental stress, health problems, and low morale. Somewhere we see that these are some of the things that lead to the great attrition. I mean, people are leaving organizations looking at alternative options because they can earn a little more so that they can meet their immediate financial requirements. So earned wages access really fits the bill here. What we do, what earned wages access does, is that it makes finance inclusive, right? We are saying that the larger section of the population that does not have access to credit, can we offer them cash in hand to the extent of salaries that they've earned in the month at any point of time of day or night, rather than going out and looking for that money elsewhere. So earned wages access does that. It allows employees autonomy and visibility over their hard-earned money. So they know at any time during the day or night how much salary they have earned, but they're waiting till the end of the month to get paid for it. So they have visibility of that. And there's anytime liquidity anywhere they want. Round the clock, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, they want access to money. They can just get onto the service and receive the money in their bank accounts. And this we've seen has been very, very helpful during the pandemic times, where a large number of people, they were scrambling for hospital admissions, middle of the night, oxygen cylinders, and we realized that EWA made a huge impact to that, to their lives. They had access to money. So this we believe, EWA we believe can be a game changer. There is, people's relationship with money is changing. People are going digital, right? So people are, we all know we use Paytm, we use UPI and all of those digital wallets. The digital adoption or the digital payments in India has increased by 72% between 2020 and 2021. So even today, my own driver or our staff that works at home, they can seamlessly use their smartphones to have digital access to shopping or transfer money or receive money from anywhere. So it's really, really gone up, right? So EWA is the next thing on the block, we believe, in terms of achieving the financial inclusion goals of the country. We work with over 200 corporates in India already in the last 1 year. We are servicing close to 1 million employees, giving them access to earned salaries at any point of time during the month. So we believe that there is a long way to go, but then we're getting there. And I think EWA is one step towards achieving the financial inclusion goals of the country. At that point, I say thank you to all of you for your time. Thanks for listening to me. Do I take questions now, or?
So are we taking questions?
Yeah, are we?
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, anybody has a question and I have a mic, you get a chance to be featured on television. Yeah? I like your smile. Why don't you introduce yourself? Turn, come face me. Face me. Let's turn so that this is a moment of fame. So please introduce yourself.
Actually, Raju Bhatia has chosen the wrong guy. I am actually very, very closely associated with Refine. I am in the capacity of an advisor with Refine. So I know a lot about the organization, and I am also a partner with In-Group Consulting, and has been the CHRO with Intellinet Teleperformance for the last 18 years, and have over 3 decades of work experience.
Oh my God.
He wanted me to introduce myself, and that's what I did.
This is my profile for the business. Please give him a big round of applause. And I'm going to give you something for your brain.
Oh, lovely. I'd like some pistas with it next time.
देखो बादाम मिला तो पिस्ता चाहिए. Okay, anybody for a question, please? No? All right. So we have got a special painting for you done by people who are differently abled. Yeah, you'll be very happy to keep it. Promise me you won't give it to anyone. 100%. Oh, guys, can I have a Ganesha, please? Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah. I hope the world is as beautiful as this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming here and presenting to us. I hope you have a great next 3 days with us, and God bless you. So good round of applause. Thank you.